Only one top 25 game today as conferences start to wind down into the Christmas schedule. And don't look now, but Rio Grande, they are 8-1, and they are the giant killers. We have Coach Ryan Arrowood. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Well, Indiana Wesleyan was at home on Monday night. They played East-West, and they beat them 111-57. Griffin Cleaver, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and Cademan Bontrager, 23 points, but most impressively on 14 for 16 shooting. So Indiana Wesleyan, they've won 2 in a row now. They go to 8-3. They're starting to get well, and they're going to go to Florida, and they're going to play Florida Memorial on Saturday. You know, this weekend, Rio Grande defeated Cumberland's. Earlier in the year, they went to Winona Lake and they beat Grace. They're kind of the giant killers. They're 8-1 now. This is a much improved RedStorm team. They've operated a little bit quietly, but we wanted to get a hold of Coach and talk about his team and their recent success. Let's take a listen to Ryan Arrowood, head men's basketball coach, Rio Grande RedStorm. Cascade Hoops Talk. Hey, I got Ryan Arrowood, head coach, Rio Grande RedStorm. Welcome, Coach. Thanks for being on.
Always a pleasure. I appreciate you, brother.
You know, we talked, I think it was before games started, and you and I talked how, the team was coming along. You thought you'd be better this year, and here you are. You're 8-1. Just talk about where the team is right now.
We're in a really good place, and I don't think we're even close to playing our best basketball. We just got some guys that, the term dogs and all that stuff gets thrown around, but we've got a really competitive group of guys. We got to figure out how to put 40 minutes of that together, but when we need to go there, this group goes there wildly. Maybe the most unselfish team I've ever coached, and this group probably has played together, the least of any team I've ever coached. So that's kind of I think speaks to the character of the individuals. But we're not close to playing our best basketball. But we've had some really big wins, and some really big wins on the road. So just really excited to see if we can just handle some of this success that's come our way, and it motivate us to stack days even more in practice. So that's going to be the fun part.
Coach, that's been one of the most impressive parts. You're 8-1, but your 2 signature wins are both on the road, at Grace and then this weekend at Cumberland's, 2 of the tougher places to play. What makes your guys such great road warriors?
They're dogs. that word gets thrown around so much, but we got some competitive dudes, and they want those things. And we've also got a switch, unfortunately, but I've coached a few teams that I would consider great teams, teams that really maximize their ability, and every one of those teams had a switch. I don't think you can be great without it. Now, the goal is, as a coach, is to figure out, okay, well, how do we keep that thing from flipping off so much, right? How do you sustain? But this is an extremely competitive group. My assistant, Coach Nick, kind of did some research, and I think the last team to beat Grace, a non-Crossroads to beat Grace at Grace, was Shawnee State. And that was the year Shawnee State won the national championship. Wow. He was looking back, and I don't think Cumberland had lost a home game to a non-conference team at Cumberland since Union, I think, 4 years ago. Wow. I think Union was a top 10 team at that time. So, those are 2 places that's really tough. You got to have some really competitive guys to be able to go into those places and win. So first time in our school's history, we've had 2 top 10 wins on the road. So just a lot of cool things happening.
Just talk about, you got the big 3 Trey Robertson, who's been playing very well, along with Eric Butler, and then Jalen Johnson, big three on the offensive end. Talk about their performance so far this season.
Yeah, and those three guys are, they're really good. They're really special. And all three of them are very unselfish. Eric Butler, if you look at the last 6 minutes versus Grace and versus Cumberland, that is the definition of why we brought him. He is just a very, very confident guy. He is, he's an alpha competitor. When we do our preseason ranking, competitive spirit, and Trey Robertson is one of the most competitive spirited players I've ever coached. But every single week, every coach had Eric Butler as the number one as far as competitive spirit. And, when you can have someone like him and Trey Robertson side by side, if you can put yourself in position to be there late, we're going to win most games because I have those two guys. It's not a lot of coaching. There's not a lot of coaching done. And then Jalen Johnson, and the crazy thing about him is he's leading us in scoring. He's our second best rebounder.
Yep.
And when I say just scratching the surface, I got to double take myself a lot of the times because I'm coaching him really hard because I'm like, man, you're not even close to being as good as you can be. And then I look up, he's averaging 15.3 on great shooting splits.
Wow.
Great rebound. One of the best defenders, probably in our leagues. I probably need to back off just a little bit on him, but his upside's through the roof. And then those three guys are the guys that, those stats are consistent and they pop. But, then you got a guy like Jalen Fox, who's been in double figure most of our game and huge minutes. Milan Square,
yeah,
he's going to start making shots at the clip that we know he can. But when I say he does everything, he's got a 13-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. We can run our offense through him at the top of the key. I mean, he's just when you say winning stuff that maybe doesn't go in the stat sheet, he probably leads our team in that. And then Keelan Lassie is kind of the barometer. When he plays at the level that he can, his stats may not show up, but what he does is phenomenal, and his ability to rebound and his ability to defend people one-on-one and his ability to help and recover. He's kind of our unsung hero. And then Ethan House, a four-year player for us, played 30 minutes and made the two biggest buckets down the stretch at Cumberland, So we got a kind of great mix of guys we've added who are really, really good, who are playing well. Then, you've got the Trey Robertson, Ethan Houses who have been in this program. And when we need them to step up, they're stepping up. So our depth is kind of a big key for us. And we've got Aiden Porter and Branson Copas who, on any given night can step up. So we're really, really blessed with our team, the unselfishness, the connectivity of them. It's just a really, really fun group to coach.
Yeah, you're getting significant contributions. I think 8-9 guys. I mean, we talk about the big scorers. They're there every night. But you're getting and you're getting deeper as the season goes, and some of the younger guys pick up the experience. When I look at your team, the thing that really pops to me is you're rebounding. You're out rebounding teams by 9, but most of that is coming on the O board. Like you're only out rebounding defensively a couple rebounds a game, but you're getting a ton of offensive rebounds. Is that, do you just crash the boards? Are your guys just athletic? How are you doing that?
All of the above. I mean, last year I had to fight that team to offensive rebound more than any team I've ever coached. So I made sure we put a premium on guys that we were recruiting of. They've got to at least have proven they're willing, right?
Yeah.
So that was really, really important. But I think offensive rebounding, not everybody can, right? I mean, you just can't. Right. And typically your best offensive rebounding teams are teams that are going to play a little bit inside out, so they have guys in position to offensive rebound. We're a little bit different. We really spread you out. I think the secret sauce to our offensive rebounding is our ability to make teams get in a scramble. So our unselfishness, our ability to touch the paint and kick the ball out. A lot of these rebounds we're getting are off catch and shoot threes, to be very honest. And we practice that stuff every single day. We pursue the ball. A game like on Saturday, we had the worst turnover. We were sloppier with the ball than any we've played. We had 14 turnovers, and that's not us. But our ability to offense rebound, especially in the second half, that's the reason we win that game. So, again, we have dogs. Like we have guys that just pursue the rebound, and it's the ugly ones that are winning us the games, right? It's the tip ones where we just keep pursuing it, and we always want to send 3 to the glass every possession. So I think Keelan Lasisi, Jalen Fox, Eric Butler, Jalen Johnson's bought into that. I think all of those guys just having the mindset of who get the ball. I think
that is a backbreaker on a defense. They get a stop, they get the miss, and then the ball gets kicked back out for another. If you give any team 2 or 3 shots at a 3 or a good shot, I mean, they're going to can it. It's just a backbreaker.
Yeah, Ethan House we did not play good on Saturday, and I think a lot of that had to do with Cumberland. Cumberland was desperate, and they played like it a little bit, and we did not play well. We had a really bad first 30 minutes, but that last 10 minutes of the game, we just kind of went somewhere different. And Ethan House made, I think, the 2 biggest shots as far as the half court, but the 2 biggest plays of the night were just a long 50-50 rebound where we just got a hand on it. We got a scramble. Trey Robertson goes and saves it in the backcourt. We get a +1, and we get a catch-and-shoot 3. And then I think the back-breaking play there was a possession where we missed 2 layups. But we got 4 offensive rebounds on 1 possession and then finally put it back in to take the lead. And you could just feel our guys. You could feel it. And honestly, that play happened. I kind of knew, it's going to be tough to beat us.
Yeah.
We got a good spot, and that's more players than his coaching or anything else. We just, like I said, we got a very special group of competitors.
Here before the first of the year, you've got a few more non-cons to go through. No easy task. You're going to play a couple Appalachian teams. You got Kentucky Christian. Then you're going to go. You're going to go to Ohio and play Mount Vernon Nazarene. What do you need to do in these through December here, these last 4 games to get ready for conference play?
Well, we actually, our conference is a little bit different. Typically we play 5 conference games in the pre-Christmas, and then we dive into it. We have 1 conference, and that's our next game. We play at Midway on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, this is the first.
I missed that one. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no. I think a lot of people have. So we have 1 conference game prior to Christmas break, and then all the non-con. But the key is to not do what is your natural instinct, and that is to feel great about where you are. The RPI just came out, and we're number 7, and we've got to stay humble. But now that's a big deal for the University of Rio Grande. That's a gigantic deal in the first RPI to be number 7. And that puts a big target on your back. But typically what you do is you feel good about that. You start to look through, guys will start to, okay, we got a Christmas break coming the 19th. We got to win these 3 games, and then we got to come back. We got to have good practice because we got to beat Mount Vernon if we want. And then we get into conference. I think that's the worst thing you can do. The thing we need to do is we need to have a good day of practice.
Yep.
That is it. Enjoy what comes from what you've done, but do not let it make you so high you forget what made you that.
Yeah.
And this group has practiced really good on a daily basis. We are still so flawed. We have so much, but it's not their fault. We just got to get better. There's a lot of things they can do a lot better. And this group, we got to keep that hunger to do that, right? Humble and hungry. Jay Wright used to always say that.
Yep.
And great program habit. So we got to practice really, really good today. We got to come in and we got to have great scout practice, a great film session, and then we got to go on the road and open conference. And that's it. We don't want to look at anything else. Once we get done with Wednesday's game, we'll start focus on a really good Montreat team who has an amazing story of what they're doing with all the adversity they're facing and having a great year. We'll worry about that Thursday morning. But, the number one focus today is to get better in practice. We have an opportunity to focus on us today, not worry about the upcoming game on Wednesday. We'll start doing that tomorrow morning. But today we get to have a day of practice where we get better, and we got to do everything we can to make sure our guys are just focused on that.
Well, Coach Arrowood, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes today to talk to us. Congratulations on the big win on Saturday, but it's a mission. You're on a mission. You just gotta stay focused, right? I think that's the message you're giving.
Yeah, I mean, and get confidence from where you are. Stay hungry because it's December, right? We don't want to look back at this in March and be like, I'm using Memphis as a great example for our guys. What a Maui tournament they had, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no hotter team, and they get beat by double figures at home by Arkansas State last night, because that is college basketball. Is you take your eye off the ball, you're going to get. And we don't want to do that. It's a lot easier said than done. You want to get the confidence that comes from your work, but you also got to stay hungry on what's the task at hand. So that's all we're trying to do today.
Well, Coach, again, I really appreciate the time. Good luck as you finish out the year here, and we'll get you back on when you get in the thick of that River States. It's going to be a war. I know you know that.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you're looking at the RPI, West Virginia Tech's number 20, and we got a host of votes. So, this thing's going to be a war. We got enough to worry about before then. So, but appreciate all you do, brother, and would love to get on anytime you need.
That's Ryan Arrowood. He's the head men's basketball coach, Rio Grande RedStorm. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you so much to Coach Ryan Arrowood from Rio Grande. Really appreciate him giving us some time. We won't have a show on Wednesday. I have big family obligations. You guys know how that goes. I'm not going to get out of them. So we'll be back on Thursday morning. Don't forget the new NAIA men's basketball top 25 comes out Wednesday morning. So check for that. Go to NAIA on Twitter and just keep refreshing it, and you'll get it. That's the fast place to get it. So don't forget, no show tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday morning. Thank you. I appreciate it, everybody.